Ameristar Casino in St. Charles is the site of Battle on the Banks #5, along with Steve Munisteri, Scott Warman, and our entire crew. Glad to have you alongside as we see Mary Ortega from Kansas City, Missouri, just 250 miles west here of St. Charles, getting into the ring. A record of 28-3-1 and has been a professional for nearly 10 years, Steve.
Not only a professional but a champion. We are very, very privileged tonight, and I'm very excited to have two world champions, two people that have had belts fighting each other, cross-state rivals. I'm expecting a very good bout, Scott.
I know you had an interesting conversation with Mary before tonight's bout.
She's very confident, and she says she's coming straight ahead. And the thing that surprised me is Holly says she's coming straight ahead. So when you have two bulls rushing at each other, you usually have some action. And I'm expecting that we're going to have a very good fight this evening.
Why don't we hear from Mary Ortega and see some of her comments about tonight's fight?
Well, tonight I'm going to be fighting a female that also has titles. She has 3 titles. And I think it gives me a little extra incentive in the matter that I know she's been training hard. And I know I've been training hard, so it makes me want to go in there and see who's got the most heart, who's ready to battle it out, who's ready to do what needs to be done to win tonight. So, I mean, I think that I'm going to go in there, and from what I hear, she's a little boxer. She likes to box, but she's not afraid to mix it up. So I just want to take the fight to her early and see if she can keep up all 8 rounds.
As we see Mary's opponent there, that is Holly Hot Stuff Dunaway, coming off a loss back in June. In Germany, Holly has a record of 19-5, and out of those 19 wins, 10 of them coming via the knockout.
Yeah, and her record's a little deceiving because she took some of those losses early when she really didn't have to box. And one of the things that's really impressed me is she's come back and beaten 2 of the fighters that previously beat her. That's the true mark of a champion, and she's a 3-time belt holder.
My losing that split decision in Germany has affected my training for this fight because I'm training with everything now. Whenever I fought in Germany, then my last few fights I've been boxing and just going out there and doing enough to outbox them and win on the scorecards. But in every fight, my last 4 or 5 fights, I could have fought harder. I could have fought with everything in me and I didn't. And I think that's why I lost in Germany. And I'm not going to make that decision again tonight. I'm gonna fight with everything in me. I'm going to fight as hard as I possibly can and not leave it up to, hopefully win by knockout, not leave it up to the judges.
So Mary Ortega and Holly Dunaway getting set to battle, and for the formal announcement of these 2 boxers, let's go up to our ring announcer and hear the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, this pre-main event matchup is brought to you by EDP Erosion and Drainage Products, Mr. Jeff McKay, and is scheduled for 8 rounds. When the bell rings, the man in charge is Mr. Kevin Champion. Fighting out of the red corner from Kansas City, Missouri, weighing in at 110 pounds. She is the one they call the Heat. She is Mary Ortega. Miss Ortega's opponent this evening, fighting out of the blue corner from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing in at 111 pounds, Ameristar Casino. It is my absolute honor to give to you the fighter from the blue corner. She is the one and only. She is Holly Hot Stuff Dunaway.
Thank you, Trevor Griffin, our ring announcer, and let's take a look at the tail of the tape here for this bout.
Yeah, what's interesting, Scott, is that Ortega is slightly taller than Dunaway, but she's actually at a 3.5-inch reach disadvantage from shoulder to fingertip. So that means that Holly has some very long arms, and that might serve her well.
Holly, as we mentioned, carries 3 belts, and 1 belt carried into this fight for Miss Mary Ortega.
Yeah, what a treat, Scott. 4 world title belts between these 2 fighters. And I tell you, they are doing exactly what they said they would, standing toe-to-toe and trading right from the start.
Well, they're supposed to go 8 rounds, but it doesn't look like it's going to go that long the way they're starting out here, Steve.
Well, if it goes 8 rounds, we're going to have a very exciting fight because these ladies are putting some of the men to shame. They are well-schooled, great technically, and we're seeing a lot of action in the first 30 seconds.
I mentioned Holly losing her 5th fight of her professional career just a month and a half ago in Germany.
Very controversial decision. It was a split decision, and most people I've talked to thought she actually won the fight, but it's very tough to beat a German in Germany these days.
Well, the last time Holly lost was actually 2 years ago in Germany. So that's how long it's taken Holly Hot Stuff Dunaway to pick up a loss, and it is on the road overseas in Germany. Actually, Holly, after losing that fight, spent about 4 more weeks doing a lot of sparring in Germany with some of the German fighters there in Europe.
Well, Germany is the hot spot for fighting right now. I just came back from Germany. I've had 3 fighters over there in the last year and a half. It's the 3rd most popular sport there behind soccer and F1. They're having tremendous ratings. So actually, European boxing's doing better than U.S. And a lot of fighters are going over there because some of the best fighters in the world, including some of the best women fighters, are right now in Germany, and that was great experience for her.
And a couple of nice combinations, sorry, Steve, with Holly Dunaway.
Oh, and a good right hand, Scott.
Ortega tying things up, and Holly still throwing that right. Vicious right by Holly, but Ortega answering back.
Ortega's answering back, but I think Holly's getting the better of it. Well, just as I say that, Ortega lands it. Tremendous action, Scott, toe-to-toe.
Listen to the crowd. They love it here.
Well, this is a fight to love. You know, fans are showing their appreciation for women's boxing, and this is just showing how far women's boxing has come. This is a very skilled 2 fighters in the ring, and they have just as much heart or more heart than any male fighters in the sport today.
There you see Mary Ortega's trainer working on her right eye. They got a little swelled up there in round number 1, and let's take a look at some of that action from round number 1 between these 2 great fighters.
Well, there's a lot of action in this first round, and we're going to see a replay coming up here with a late flurry by Ortega. You see she's landing left and right combinations to Holly, but Holly comes back with an uppercut. Both ladies are landing and both are throwing, and this is a tremendous first round of action.
No question about it. Mary Ortega, as we mentioned, 10 years in the program. Before that, she was a Silver Gloves fighter and a 2-time Golden Gloves boxer. This is a young lady who's got quite a resume during her storied amateur and pro career, as her and Holly Dunaway going at it as we begin things in round number 2.
Yeah, both of these women are showing tremendous heart, and you just saw that Ortega landed a nice right over that jab of Holly, but Holly has been setting things up nicely with the jab. Boy, these ladies are trading leather, Scott.
Big time, big time.
You know, technique has now gone out the window somewhat. It's just toe-to-toe. I'd say mano-y-mano, but it's female versus female. It takes so much courage to get in the ring, and these young ladies are showing not only skill but courage and determination. Both of these women want to come out of this fight the winner, and I think they're trying to establish who is the best fighter here in Missouri.
Things now slowing down just a bit as the 2 fighters trying to catch their breath here, coming out with a vengeance here in the first 1+ round, and boy, Holly Dunaway scores with a big right. Ortega tying things up, and you get a chance to look at that left eye. It's already swollen here in round number 2 for Mary Ortega out of Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, it's a nasty mouse. Hopefully they'll have a good cut man with some end swell. Right now it's probably not affecting her vision, but those have a way of blowing up. And if it eventually does start to affect her vision, it could affect the outcome of the fight. But right now it has not affected her aggressiveness. She's coming forward, but I'd say Holly's getting slightly the better of it.
Pace slowing down, and I think it's really via Holly Dunaway until the end here as they both come out with a flurry once again. Look at the 2 young ladies trading punches, and we wind down round number 2, and the folks are on their feet here again. Round 3 coming around the corner here at Battle on the Banks 5, brought to you by Rumble Time Promotions at the Ameristar Casino in St. Charles.